know, Alana. All right, so they should be able to see us on all our connections. Let me do this. Can I send this link to? I'm gonna put this link in the chat. Um, Let me see if. Oh yeah, TMF is live on Instagram right now. Okay. Where is my YouTube link? Oh shucks, I should have. This is the chat right here. How do people find us? Like, well, we need to market this.
This
Cause I don't even know if anybody can find us on this. Hmm. Amazing Grace. Let me see. Oh, it's funny. There's a TMF podcast on YouTube already called Tough Motherfuckers. Isn't that crazy? Too many feelings. How about that? I was trying to search it out.
following the podcast, we should send them an alert whenever we go live.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I don't even have. I'm trying to find a damn link because I done damn start the YouTube thing, but I don't even know. I forgot to get the damn. Well, I don't see a link that I can grab, and our page is. Let me see if I can do it on my tablet. Our page, I believe, is just TMF. Let me see if I can just find our page first. TMF Podcast YouTube channel. It says live. Okay, here we go. Okay, I got the link. Boom. Oh, they can hear us. They can hear us in the world. They can hear us in the world. All right, here we go. I have so many windows open. You ready to do this, Lana Boo?
Yeah, what we doing?
All right, here we go. Welcome to the TMF Podcast, where we have too many feelings. I'm your host, T Staples, and today is a glorious day because not only am I here today, but I am joined by the one, the only. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Who I got?
Hey, it's your girl Lana Boo.
And we are
What's
now
up?
visual. Welcome. Woo, 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 woo. I should have some confetti. Let it rain down on us. Fa la 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 la. Wait. Don't hit us with the copyright. Don't hit us with the copyright. Kurt Franklin,
Right.
don't hit us with the copyright.
Kurt Franklin.
Don't you hit us with copyright, Kurt Franklin. Funny thing when you talk about copyright, we actually, before we was having a conversation, I was just having a discussion with Alana Boo about the that particular situation in general, copyright. And I was telling her, I was like, YouTube, they have this thing called Creative Commons where you can take stuff and remix stuff. And I was like, I wonder how that differs from royalty
Public
free
domain.
or public domain, not royalty free, public domain. And I think the difference is, and if you're out there, you can let us know. Let us know in the comments. Matter of fact, if you see our chat, you see we live, let us know in the comments if you have an answer to this. Cause I'm pretty sure public domain can be manipulated and resold. Whereas Creative Commons, you can manipulate it, it just can't be sold. I think that's the difference. And the reason we're having this discussion is now. Can I make this announcement while we're having this discussion? I don't know because this ain't I don't want to step into your toes of your family and everything. So you tell me if we can have this discussion about why we were talking about licensing. Are you sure? It's cool. I can make the announcement. Okay, I'm gonna mess it up. All right, I already know I'm gonna mess it up. So Alana Boo is out here lit, y'all. This man, he got the voice. He got what we call the voice of God. He's an announcer, a speaker, motivational speaker, and he is the voice. What they call him, the main event voice. That's his name. But he is the voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Did I do it right? I got it right.
Yes,
Minnesota.
you did.
I don't watch basketball like that, so I feel bad. So I just gonna keep it real. I don't watch basketball like that. And so he is now in the new NBA 2K game.
Yep, NBA 2K22.
And so my instant thought was, I've my past, I used to work with a lot of do a lot of work with voice artists, and I instantly thought to myself, maybe if he had a basketball game, that's pretty big. My first thing was, do they get residuals? That was my first thought. So that's why we had this whole conversation about, the usage of things. Because as I started to think about that out loud, what I kind of resolved on was, well, it's a lot of people on YouTube, content creators right now, that they stream their gameplay with the full audio track and everything embedded in. And so I imagine that there are no residuals tied to it because there's no new checks going to the game creators for all these content creators that are out there, especially Twitch streamers, which that's a whole community built around streaming games, right? And so essentially, if there's no new checks going to the people who created the game, there can't be no checks going to the people who are featured in the games or people who lend their voice to the games. So that was just this is my logic. I could be all wrong about this. There may be some other trigger, some other reason for why they could get a residual check from these companies. But I imagine in Tomb Raider or Halo or any any of these games that are out there, that these people who lend their voice and do voice work for these games, that's it. You know what I mean? You get your money, boom, you out. And the real money is in being in the next one. Because 2K is a series, so getting to the next one, making it to the next part of the series, making it to the, whatever. That's where the money is. So I literally said to Alana, I said, did they Netflix them? They Netflixed them, didn't they? That's what I call it. But I know you're proud of him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, wait. So, have you played the game yet?
No, we actually, we don't have a PlayStation in the house. We don't got an Xbox in the house, so we got to get one.
Wait, you gotta get a game.
We on a whole game. We ain't got no game system. So
you gonna have, you gonna have to. Oh, let me check. Okay, we got IG live. Let me see. Let me check that. Okay, that's live.
The get in the house so he can play the game. But he had a one of his Twitter followers has the game already because I don't think they've officially released the game just yet for the general public.
Gotcha.
But one of his Twitter and they started, played and they was playing, as the Timberwolves, and they recorded, him and his voice and doing the whole opening lineup.
Wow.
And tagged him in it, and so that was dope.
Man, so wait a minute. So they have. So do you know? Okay, so you haven't played it, so you don't know what it sounds like. But you've heard his voice a million times, so you know.
Oh yeah, I've heard him, behind the scenes when he was out in LA recording it. So he was sending me little videos.
Oh, so they had to fly him to LA?
He got flued out.
He got flued out.
Yeah, he got flued out. They did all that. He didn't got flued out twice. Once it was for 1 whole week, and then they had to come back and do another shorter series for a day or two. So yeah, they flew him out, first class, everything. They all nice and shit.
I heard that. So you just curious, you didn't want to go with him?
I did want to go with him, but because my work schedule, I couldn't go with him.
Okay.
So the next time I will be going with him.
Yeah. That's cool.
It was kind of like, it was all around, like, I think he flew out like around the Thanksgiving time. Or early December.
Oh, so y'all kept it on the hush. Y'all ain't tell nobody.
Well, we couldn't. He had PA.
Y'all kept it on the hush. You know, back in December? Folks, this podcast is released. What is today is September the 19th. They knew back then, so that's what's up. Y'all got y'all stuff together, cause
we had to keep it hush.
Yeah, y'all kept that cat in the bag, literally. Yeah, the cat died because he ain't had no oxygen.
But yeah, that's big, that's exciting. I was excited for him, and and proud of him. He gets to do that. This is his 5th year with the Timberwolves.
Oh wow!
So them 5 years flew by. So it's the 5th year. So he's excited, ready to get the season started.
Okay. And now what about you? What you got going on? So I guess since we in this area, we're gonna do a gut check. We're gonna check on people because when we first started the podcast back last year around this time, actually, we may have just missed the 1 year anniversary of the podcast. But when we started this podcast, the goal was to get to this point. It was eventually to go visual, to get to a place where we are, being seen and doing a podcast on YouTube. But we really got into a groove doing the audio version of the podcast. And what the reason why we started podcast because it was going to be like a time capsule almost of what was going on because of COVID and the whole nine. And just like, listen, we got to capture this moment because we really don't want to revisit this, in this form ever again. But what's happening, what's going on during this time? Let's be some kind of voice in the world that's speaking and have our own opinions about what's going on. That's where the whole title and everything of the show came from. It was just an emotional time for everybody. And so that being said, now we're a year out of that, we should definitely do a gut check. Like how's everybody feeling? How are you feeling? How are you doing? How have you been able to cope with this? And do you feel like we're on our way out? Do you feel like it's almost over?
We are not on our way out. We in the middle of this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just something that we are going to have to live with for the rest of. Yeah. Just like the flu, at some point there was no thing as the flu, and now the flu is you got an every year vaccine that you got to get.
Right.
So yeah, but hold on real quick. Let me check my background noise.
No, you good. I mean, this is all. Listen, you can check your noise. You can tell them make some noise. Don't make no noise. I don't think because what we're trying to do here, we just want to keep it 100. We want to make sure that everybody is able to enjoy our podcast. You know what I'm saying? Even the people in the background.
This is a test, everybody whoever's watching. This is a test. We're just
wait a minute. Is that the main event back there?
That's the main event back there. All that noise.
He ain't dressed. Is he dressed? Is he?
You said, is he dressed?
Is he dressed?
Not really.
Oh, never mind. We'll get him on. Actually, that's what we'll do. We'll do an episode. We'll get him on if he wants to come on. We'll let him talk about his experience with that. Because I think there's a lot of people who would love to know. So we definitely do that.
Yeah, we definitely do that. Yeah, anytime, I got access to the main line, so we can do that anytime.
To the main events.
But like I was saying, we in the middle of this shit. This is something we finna have to live with for forever. Cardi B boys. That like this is not going away. It's not going away no time soon. It just is what it is. It's gonna be I feel like it's gonna be just like the flu, like an annual vaccination situation. Yeah. Where you got to get your booster or whatever they want to call it. Yeah. And go on about your life. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody was hoping that we would, come out of it, the shit would disappear, but because people won't do what they supposed to do.
Amen.
It ain't going nowhere.
Amen.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of them things where it is what it is. We up in this shit and it ain't going nowhere no time, bro.
It's funny. My mom's up here from Georgia visiting, and shout out to mom. Mom's in the building, and she's visiting, and she works in the system. She's a hospital administrator. And what's interesting about her being here is, of course, New York, Georgia, they never really closed down.
Georgia.
Listen, y'all mugs in Georgia being open. Y'all niggas need to close down, okay? Shut it down.
Georgia thugs. They some thugs say they gonna do what they want to do.
Man, them jokers are still open. Okay, so she's up here, and she's excited about all the, the ability to be able to go to restaurants because she has her vaccine or whatever. And we were in a restaurant just yesterday, and we actually ran into a conspiracy theorist who just so happened to work for the Department of Education here in New York. And I thought to myself, that is wild. So for my mom to have the opportunity to, from a lady from Georgia, talking to a woman who's in New York, where I guess I would consider, and I'm not a scientist, so if I get this wrong, y'all can correct me in the chat, but this was like an epicenter at one point in time for COVID. This was like, I was here. I remember seeing the trucks down over there on Fifth Avenue next to the hospital. Like it felt like another place. Like we turned into some type of zombie land for a second. And of course, some people would joke, if you live in Harlem, people call Harlem zombie land sometimes. But it just felt, you felt the weight of the pandemic here, and so you would think there's more people who understand the importance of getting people vaccinated, the importance of getting people better, protecting as many lives as we can, so that we can get out of this pandemic, get out of this mode. And so it was interesting, the lady from Georgia being here to talk to a conspiracy theorist who lives in New York about the importance of the vaccine. But I really loved her approach, and she had a great approach when she talked about it. What she did was, she essentially said, when it came out, I was scared too. I was like, dang, that's good, Mom. That's good. She started off like, when they first did the research, I was scared too. I was leery, and I work in the medical field. The CDC is right there in Georgia. It's right there. That's we get the direct information. And as information started to come out, and I started doing some research, and I found out that a black woman worked on one of the vaccines. It was one of the reasons why we have a vaccine. She's working in, this particular black woman had been working on, I think, SARS or COVID, not COVID itself, but different corona type viruses prior to this pandemic. So she had already had some prior research. And that kind of helped them to expedite, getting to a vaccine. The new technology we have helped them expedite getting to a vaccine. And she said after she did some research, she said, I started to weigh the options. She said, the way I looked at it, I had two options. Even though I was afraid and I wasn't quite sure about taking the vaccine, she said, I could either deal with the repercussions of getting COVID, or I could deal with the repercussions of the vaccine. And right now, getting COVID don't seem too good for some people who are not in good health conditions. Maybe obese,
pre-existing,
immunocompromised, things like that.
Yeah.
So she said, after looking at it from that perspective, this is what your options were, because so many people in America at this point are now getting it. It's going around like the common cold, right? There's so many people are now getting it, and they're not 100% wearing masks everywhere. We're not 100% washing our hands the way we should be. And we should be doing these things to protect ourselves. Yet these things are not happening. So she said, I looked at it from that perspective. And she's from Georgia. Remember, they ain't closed down. Remember we said that. So after I weighed option 1 and option 2, she said, you know what? I said, I'm going to take my chances with the vaccine before I take my chance with the virus. And she said this to this lady. And the lady was like, she put her hand, because usually put your hand here and do the blessed. She ended with the blessed. That was. I really appreciate that analogy. I really appreciate that thing. What you told me, and I thought that was really cool that she was able to. Listen, that lady could go home, watch 2 more videos, and feel right back how she was feeling about the whole COVID situation. But for her to actually do her to actually be so much or seemingly changed by my mom's testimony. I thought that was really cool. So, you know, it looks like a year later from the time we started this, we do have some type of progression and opportunity with these new vaccines out, and hopefully, you know, we can get to the end of the pandemic where we can put a pin in this show and start a new chapter. You know, life after
Right.
COVID. That should be the next show.
Or
Life after COVID.
it's just with COVID.
Oh, well, that's true. I hope it don't be life with COVID. I hope we can get past it and get to a place where we don't need to have booster shots and no more other stuff for this. You know, I hope that it gets to a point where this thing it gets under control. Because actually, and again, I'm not no scientist, so help a brother out. Help a brother out in the comments if you know. But I'm pretty sure Obama had to deal with a very similar coronavirus when he was in office, but they were able to somehow contain before they hit the whole world. They not just because of him being there, but just during his era of being in office. That particular one got contained before it made its worldwide debut, like COVID did. He did, and they put a foot in Ebola as well. Yep, I remember that too.
Yeah.
That was a big serious deal. That's even more scary. Not the coronavirus thing less scary, but the man, can you? Oh my God, you know. And me, you ain't gonna show me but a few pictures. I'm done. I'm good. I don't want that. Put a foot in that. So yeah. So hopefully we can get past and through this. And tell me something, Alana. Have you learned anything through this pandemic from, let's say, March 20th when we really got hit hard? Let's just call it from 2020, the whole year 2020, all the way to now.
I learned. Well, it's a couple of things that I already knew, but you know, it just kind of reinforced. You know, just basically, you know, how precious life is, how limited your time really is on this earth.
Yeah.
You know, tomorrow ain't promised for none of us.
Yeah.
You learn the breaking point of your healthcare system. You learn how inadequate, you know, our healthcare system is, you know, in the United States. So you learn about that when shit hit the fan. But one thing I learned, people are selfish.
What?
Like,
what?
Man, people like
talk about it. Talk about it.
The ones who don't want to be vaccinated also don't want to wear a mask. So I'm like, you can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
You could be asymptomatic and you sit here and don't want to wear a mask, and next thing you know, you sitting beside somebody who's immunocompromised, and you just passing the shit along. But because you don't want to wear a mask, or you think it's a conspiracy that the COVID doesn't really exist, and it's a whole situation just to get us 5G.
Yeah.
I
heard that. I heard a pastor talking about that, and I thought that was crazy. I was like, "It's a pastor saying something about 5G." Right. Oh my God! Come on, pastor. What are we doing?
Man,
don't tell.
Yes, I learned that people are selfish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they just want to keep, you know, living their best life out here in the world and don't want to, you know, like, I'm like, this is the real shit happening. Like, you know, we got people are losing their family members left and right. I got a friend who done lost like 4-5 family members to this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All within a year. Like, that shit is stressful, and it's, you know what I'm saying, it's taxing on your mental state. And for people to really just sit back and just be like COVID is some bullshit, it's a made up disease, or you know, I don't care if it is a real disease, I'm still not wearing no mask, and you know what I'm saying, or I'm not getting vaccinated on top of not wearing a mask. Then it's like, damn, you just really don't give a fuck about the next person, the person that's sitting right next to you. You don't care if they live or they die.
I think that's the unfortunate part about it. You know, when you go to other countries, they would say, they almost look at it like, they always call us stupid Americans, right? Stupid Americans. But sometimes when you look at it, it's like, yeah, I mean, we have our freedom, but freedom ain't that free, man. It really ain't that free. No, and I think, I'm saying a bigger thing, but this is a very oversimplified, you know, conversation, because the freedom ain't that free is a deeper conversation than what I'm about to make it. But something as simple as putting the mask on so that we all can be protected. Can you imagine a world where everybody wore a mask once we knew what this was? and we were able to shut this thing down a lot faster without maybe
Exactly.
needing a vaccine. Can you imagine
Exactly.
that kind of a world? And I think that's the thing that, regardless if your theory is right or wrong, if we all decided, let's at least do one thing to protect our neighbor, to protect our fellow man. Let's do this one thing. If we ain't gonna get, like you said, you ain't gonna get the vaccine or whatever, put the mask on. Wash your hands. Like, let's make sure that we are not at least spreading it.
Don't be a spreader in the least bit.
That's it. So, I think that's one
all.
of the things. That's real.
Don't be a spreader, but like I said, because people are selfish and they want to fall into a certain political agenda and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Then here we are where we are because of that. But you got places, other places in the world who did exactly what you just mentioned. Yeah. Who everybody did their masks, everybody shut down, everybody did what they were supposed to do. Places like New Zealand, and you know what I'm saying, like they may have like they cases so low, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying, like like one a month. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like ridiculously low.
Yeah.
And it's because they did what they were supposed to do, and it wasn't no fighting back and no political agenda and none of that bullshit.
Yeah.
So they good. They can live their best life without their mask, but we over here in America, you know what I'm saying, like just on some bullshit.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing. Once we go beyond where we are currently and get to a place where either the majority of the world is vaccinated, or this virus has now gone below what they call it, herd immunity or whatever, to where people are no longer getting sick by it anymore. That is now severely reduced. I would love to see how people feel on the backside of this, who could have made this thing a lot better, but sat there and decided, you know what, I ain't gonna make it better. I'm gonna keep it worse, or whatever. And they may not think of it like that in their mind, but that's what's happening. That's what's happening.
That's exactly what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not a part of the solution by getting vaccinated and wearing a mask, then that means you're a part of the problem.
If you ain't with us, you against us. Oh, win.
Exactly. So, that's the thing. Like, don't get. I was apprehensive about, getting vaccinated at first. I mean, I don't want to be the first in line. Yeah. Us black folk, we think about the whole situation where they was, injecting, us black folk with, what was it, herpes or syphilis or something like that.
So it's funny you brought that up. The syphilis and the Tuskegee experiments, right?
Yeah.
So what's funny is I did not mention that portion of my mom's story to this the lady that we met, this conspiracy theorist at a restaurant we met, but she actually spoke briefly about that because she's from Tuskegee, raised in Tuskegee, so she knows all too well about this experiments. And she said the misnomer about that is that they were not injected with syphilis. What happened was that these men already had syphilis. The government said, let's not treat them and let's see what happens. They had a new so unlike now where we have it's almost like we have this vaccine and the government saying don't give them the vaccine. It's the same thing, except then it was penicillin. They had this, but they did not give it to them because I think they were trying to see either how long the effects that this the syphilis would have on them if they were not treated.
Or if it was untreated.
If they weren't untreated, and that's what they did. So they basically gave them placebo. They did not give them penicillin. They gave them placebo.
Penicillin.
Yeah, gotcha. They gave them some fake stuff, and I think that's the unfortunate part about that study being utilized as a tool to tell people this is why you should fear the vaccine, because it's not true. It's not true. It's actually in reverse. Because if they wanted to hurt you, they wouldn't give you a vaccine. They wouldn't give you something.
Like go catch COVID and die.
Let's see what the effects of this thing are. But we know that all too well. It's been documented. We see the effects, and there's other things that have come out about it as time is moving forward. So the thing that we should not do is we should not take that one era, that one administration of people and project out all the way up here. Yes, the government has not always been 100% with people. However, we have to also be careful about when we're in pandemic times, because we cannot then also use just our past to say, well, everything based on the past is how this is a new administration, new set of people. You know, the only person who been around for a minute like that is Dr. Fauci. Now, I don't know, some people got issues with him. I know a lot of people in the LGBT community, they have issues with Dr. Fauci back with the AIDS pandemic. But, you know, what we have to do is try to do our best to at least cover your face, cover your, you know, get a mask, wear a mask.
Yeah,
right?
just wear a mask.
That's it. That's it. Man, whoo, jeez. Good check. Good check. Come on, America. Let's get it together. So, look, I've got a whole, like, lot of ideas bubbling around in my head about where we can take this next season of our podcast. Season
Yes.
3 of the podcast. Just doing this, I think it's going to be very exciting. Alana, what do you see coming? You know, what do you see in your head? Like, do you have any ideas of where you want to see this thing go?
I mean, I think it's gonna be some next level shit.
That's right.
We're gonna be on our, you know, Breakfast Club level.
Hey, let's go. And we gonna really have food, because I come on this month eating for real. I ain't scared of y'all. Y'all talk about me all you want to. I have fun with people. Listen,
You do be eating.
I do. She ain't lying. I ain't coming on the podcast right before we go live. Hold up. Let me get a little bite. I need a little bite. Yeah. I do that. She ain't lying, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think we're going to have some fun. I actually just ordered. So it's funny. I'm in the biz. I work in broadcast television. And I've been working on the TMF Podcast for only about a year now. And I've watched all these other podcasts get launched on YouTube. I've literally sat here and watched them, and I've studied them, and I've seen what they're doing. And the cool thing about a lot of them is they don't know what I know, but at the same time, I don't know what they know. And the difficulties of actually making this thing happen, making it work well. And so I'm here to learn and absorb and to see what everybody else is doing, but also to now contribute to the community in the best way that I can. The YouTube, the streaming community from the visual standpoint now. Because let's be clear, podcast was audio. And now, if you say the word podcast, people instantly go, where you at on YouTube? I'm like, oh, when that happened? There was a shift culturally. I missed it, but that's okay. I'm here for it. And I'm ready to get down with the get down. So we're going to try to make our stuff fun, jazzy, and do some different stuff. You know, right now, everything looks the same, but we're going to grow this thing. We're going to start where we are, and we're going to try to build it up. And hopefully, whoever's out there watching this, we hope that you guys come on the journey with us. I'm not going to try to keep y'all on here for 5 hours. I ain't going to lie. Listen, this ain't no knock to nobody who can do this. Because I've watched several podcasts. They live 4.5, 5 hours. And I think there is a threshold at some point in time where you have to, you know, create a program that is consistent and people can return to and give them something to want to come back for. And maybe that's something people want to come back for, the 4-hour podcast, you know. But I've literally tried to sit through a couple of those. Like, I'm like, man,
No.
it's really going down like that. Yeah. But some people rock with these podcasts that normally go that long. I ain't hating on none of them. You know, I appreciate everybody, you know, from all the podcasts that I've seen. And I won't call any particulars out right now until time is right. You know, I'll let people know what I'm watching. And maybe that's something we could do. You know, what you watching, Alana? So before we end, wait, hold on. Before I even say that, Lana, you want to say anything else towards the future of the podcast and what you see?
It's gonna be lit.
All right.
That's it.
All right. So I'm gonna do something fun before we leave because I like to do fun stuff. So like, you know, I want to integrate all kind of cool stuff. I would love to do some type of a series too, like a through line, like a strawberry letter for the TMF show. So if you're out there and you want to write that and you want to hit me up, you can find me online. I'm gonna have all my information in the description. It's nothing in the description right now because I ain't put no metadata in it because our metadata guy He is out sick right now, and when he gets better, I will introduce him to you guys so you can meet him. And he's a funny guy. I think you'll love him. But before we go, I'm gonna do something. I'll be right there. Hold on. Don't you leave, Mama. Don't you go nowhere. You sit right there.
Hurry up.
I'm hurrying up. And you know what's crazy? As soon as I want to do something fun, I done forgot where I done put the fun stuff to do. It's funny because I call myself cleaning up. Ain't that something? Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go off the cuff with it then. So what I want to do is, you like fortune cookies?
Yeah, they're cool.
You know what I like about fortune cookies? The message inside. That's what I really love.
Lately, fortune cookies been slipping on their messages inside.
For real? You don't like? Okay, wait a minute. You got something
like fortunes used to be like on some legit, like mind blowing, life changing shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They used to be on that. But now fortune cookies, I open that shit and it be like, it's like, is there really gold at the end of the rainbow? And you be like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like
no.
That shit is because they done ran out of fortunes, Tommy.
Well, I don't know what my damn fortune. I had a whole pile of fortunes. And what's crazy is I told myself I was gonna do it. So let this be a lesson to everybody out there. Be prepared. That's a Lion King, right? Is that Lion King? Be prepared. That's a song from Lion King. You gotta be prepared. I wasn't prepared. I thought, you know why? Because I literally keep them right here on the windowsill, and they weren't there. And the people on YouTube, I know they're gonna say, "Well, you went left first. You didn't go that way." You right. I sure did go left first. Because I was like, did I put them up there? I usually keep a bunch of fortunes, and I don't even know what my fortunes are. And let me find out somebody took my fortunes, and they're gonna use them. They're gonna take them. You don't keep your fortunes? Let me find out. Oh. I found him. Get him for myself. Be prepared. They're gonna kill me on that one, but that boy suck at something. Okay. Random fortune. I keep all these. Y'all keep your fortunes? Well, I guess I'll give you the fortune that comes out first.
What did it say?
Is it two? Is this one of those two fortunes? One. Okay. And you're right. You might be right, Lana, but I'm going to read it anyway. So for all you watching, the fortune of the day is the best is yet to come.
See, I told your ass they running out of fortune. They running out of stipend of fortune cookies.
Right. Well, we're gonna do that. That's your fortune cookie for the day. Listen, everybody, I want you to have a wonderful day if you're listening to this, and look forward to more from the TMF Podcast. I've been joined by
It's your girl Lana Boo.
Yes, and make sure you catch us next time where we have too many feelings. Peace. Look. And then I had a transition ready. Be prepared.